Hello, everybody, and welcome to this International Rental News video interview. My name is Murray Pollock. I'm editor of the magazine, and I'm with Anastasia van der Wielen, who's a product manager at Staedean. It's a Netherlands-based rental software company. Anastasia, nice to meet you, and thanks for joining me today.
Thank you. Nice to meet you too.
Maybe we could start by you just giving us a quick overview of what the company does, specifically in the equipment rental sector, and maybe your own background as well.
Sure. Yes, the company is, of course, not only focusing on equipment rental sector. We have four main domains. We have manufacturing, life sciences, equipment rental, and data. Yes, and we operate from the Netherlands, but we are in deep collaboration with Microsoft. Basically, we operate worldwide. My own role is indeed product manager of equipment rental domain specifically. Also because my first job in the Netherlands was in equipment rental company. Right now it's a part of Bols. So it's a market leader in the industry.
Of course,
and that's how I moved to our organization 12 years ago.
Yeah.
And basically background is econometrics, finance, and some of the business experience as well. What is funny enough now is when we talk about prediction models, AI models, some things that I learned 20 years ago, they suddenly come into play. And that's what also we'll talk a little bit more about.
Yeah.
Something else you wanted to know?
Yeah, so the rental company you work for in the Netherlands, what were you doing there? Was it IT or was it?
It was IT department. I was engaged in implementation. There was no talks about AI at the time. What was very helpful though, that they have, of course, have introduction to every department, how it works. I met a lot of people there. I even have certificates for air-based, air platform. Yes.
Aerial platform. So what you have an IPAF PAL card,
yes.
do you?
It's a part of introduction, so it is very exciting. It's very nice to see it in action. Of course, in my current position, I'm exposed to way wider audience. So we talk to all our customers regularly. We talk to our prospects. Obviously, we go to events like European or American rental conventions, and that is just more interesting.
Well, it's good. It's interesting. So you bring actual experience of equipment rental to your role. I don't think I've ever spoken to a rental software product manager who has a PAL card. But well done to you for that. So look, when it comes to software and rental software for rental companies, there's so much happening at the moment. It could be a confusing world for rental companies. They know about AI. They know about how businesses are supposed to use it to become more productive. But I guess it's challenging to know where to start and what the real benefits can be. Maybe you can tell us a little about how AI and AI agents are helping rental companies using your software.
Yes, before we move into AI agents area, we need to understand that there should be a very good basis for it. There should be a modern ERP who supports you all the way, which, for example, Microsoft base provides. Microsoft is not only a player in this area, but a very strong one. You need to have good quality of data. And of course, good cases going on. What basically important and what we see on the one hand, of course, the challenging market conditions show that next year they expect less investments in IT, in equipment rental sector. And what we also see is our potential customers, they challenge the software longer, they think longer, and it's normal, right? You should be very cautious in those circumstances about how you want to spend your money. However, what we also see is that our customers are very eager to invest into AI space. And if you don't invest in it, either a software company or an equipment rental company, you will fall behind. So the time is still now, and the key benefits there, what we talked about with our customers, so we have a regular rental day at the office, is about what areas they see the biggest benefit to come from. So one of the key topics for them is obviously time savings and potential revenue generation, right? And time savings is can be also done without AI, right? You can just have a nicely automated process which does a lot of things for you. But when it comes to reasoning, for example, in equipment planning area, you can see that you need to quickly answer the question, do you have this equipment available, where and when? And imagine it's not there, you need to quickly see, okay, is it coming soon? Is it available in location nearby? And this is a kind of reasoning that AI agent can do very quickly. This is one of we work on right now. Another challenge also from the planning areas, for example, when you think again, those are equipment which are going to come back, I need to allocate this, but customers not always inform our customers when it's actually going to happen. So that's where we try to analyze past behavior to see how we can predict it and how we can make a good suggestion. So it's it's time savings basically, and customer satisfaction, revenue generation. Yes.
The price management aspect of it, is that something that you're seeing AI being used in now?
Yes, definitely. It is not yet in the works right now. What we already have available is obviously very extensive pricing engine to build it on top of it. We have all the models supported. We have consumption-based billing supported. We have combination of every possible combination available, because once I had a discussion with a potential customer and I read the price list and like, I don't understand. I read it and it's quite difficult. Why it should be so difficult? They just explained to me that every price list should be different from your competitors. So you're not so easily compared. And to support all this on the background, you already need very extensive functionality, which we offer, which is configured in every different way. The requests we get in this area are, for example, comparing the prices with competitors, comparing the regional levels. What is also important, and pricing should be very much aligned with cost structure. Because margin control is a crucial area of interest for equipment rental customers. We have a successful example of Ainscow Crane Hire in UK. They allow us to use the name because it's the case that in the first 4 years after implementation, they were able to increase the revenues, triple the revenues, and triple the profits. Revenues, sorry, 57% increase in revenue, but on the backbone, they tripled the profits. And one of the key aspects of it, the strict control of those margins, because they say, okay, if the job is less profitable, we may see if there is an alternative to it. If it's profitable, we need to have more of those. And if you don't have those insights with modern cloud software, then that is something that indeed, can be difficult and changing market conditions.
So the AI system then is looking at pricing and it's looking at proposals and it's alerting the management and the within the rental company where pricing is not hitting the targets. I mean, how does it work in practice?
This is not yet something that is already available in the past release, but this is one of the things on the backlog. So maybe revert a little bit backward to how we work with our cases, right? We talked to our customers and also had potential customers during European Rental Convention. There we've discovered the 4 key areas we need to focus on from AI perspective. As equipment rental companies see the biggest potential there. There's equipment planning. That's indeed pricing area and revenue completeness area, because next to correct price are forgotten items apparently, and things that could have been invoiced and like normally invoiced but were not. It's bits and pieces, but it's I guess a full picture. Equipment maintenance is one of the key area of interest, and customer information, because either previous sales contact, either contacts from workplace. If this information is scattered through the system, a quick summary or quick overview of it is also essential. So if you look at these 4 key areas, the pricing is one of those. However, what we understood that the planning one was prioritized, and indeed that's the one we want to move into as the next one, is to consider how we can help our customers to make sure that revenue is complete and that the prices are indeed up to up to the level, because currently they do it more of from reports basis, but information is already there, so it's possible to indeed to apply AI agent for this purpose.
You mentioned that the key to successful application of AI is the data and having reliable data. Do you find that rental companies already have that data? They're just not exploiting it with AI in ways that they could, or is there a data deficit in many companies?
From what I understood from my customers, I cannot speak to every single company, of course, is that, yeah, there is definitely already data which wasn't exploited, let's say, in the right way. There are concerns on potential data that needs to be either corrected or omitted, because, yes, if you don't have the right basis, you wouldn't have the right prediction. But I guess, yeah, I guess the basis is already there.
Yeah.
Not to go into advertising, but Staedean provides also solutions for data quality and data control, which actually come very handy in this.
Yes. Okay. I forgive you for doing that. Anastasia, I guess for especially maybe the smaller rental companies, they'll be wondering about what internal resources they need to dedicate to really exploiting AI and fully exploiting the modern software systems. For a small company, you know, maybe less than 100 employees, do they need to have a dedicated person focusing solely on this, or not? I mean, what kind of level of resource is required within a rental company, do you think?
We don't see that there is emergent, but not yet in place, I guess, the role of actual data scientist at a rental company. At least I have seen it more indeed in bigger players. Like Loxam officially published their use case on bad debt mitigation. And therefore, by the looks of it, there is a whole department active, which of course a smaller company cannot afford and doesn't need to. So I guess that in this case, the answer would be a partnership with a valuable ERP vendor who integrates those features in the software already.
Your company really, it's focused on an equipment rental ERP system based on Microsoft Dynamics 365. Yes. So generally, that would be for medium to larger size customers, you would say?
Mostly yes, because for let's say for very small companies, the Business Central may be an alternative. Yes, however, in general, it also depends on the revenue range and number of employees who actually will be using the software, because we only, at least from our side, we only charge for users who use the equipment rental features, and if there are just a small number of people, then it's the price is obviously different than if it's a big company and there are hundreds. Yeah. So I guess it's something that can be discovered. What we do see though, if that's indeed only one location, we have less of a benefit, because we're really strong in global fleet management, international, but even national, right? Example, Ukraine Hire, again, we allowed to mention the name. They're national player, a strong national player, but they have several depots and they do need to coordinate fleet between those. So starting from this level, it's already definitely worth looking at our website as well. Yeah,
and the AI agents that you've mentioned, and there's the 4 kind of key areas. Are these AI agents already available, or when will they be available?
The first one we expect to launch in January release is the one that's actually AI damage detection. It's from equipment maintenance area, because it's very important the damage is spotted quickly, customers notified in time, therefore again, no revenue is missed, as well as the time of the person who is inspecting those items is saved. And there is one angle to it, normally inspected indeed on the spot and give a quick summary. But the second angle is to compare the previous photo, because a lot of disputes between customers and companies, rental companies, occur to see if this damage happened during the rental period. So that's something that we aim for, and that seems to be very interesting to multiple customers already.
So you'll have an app that can be used on a mobile device?
Oh, we already have an app. It's just one of the features of those. We have an app which indeed allows field service engineer and drivers, transportation team, as well as field service engineers traveling and working in the own workshop to use the app. And this feature is just coming as an addition to it. Yeah, that's the plan.
And the AI features within that, can you explain how AI helps in that application?
That's a model, right? Which is reading an image.
Yeah.
And is able to identify a damage. However, the model has to be trained, because if it's a simple scratch, right, we don't want everyone overwhelmed by those notifications, for example, around the company. It has to be a certain criteria passed before it gets informed as a damage, at least. So it's not that difficult to just making a photo, like maybe you do it before you send on WhatsApp, but instead of it's sent to your contact, it would be a report saying what kind of damage is there, and also automatically saved in the app.
So you've already trained it on thousands of pieces of equipment, and you'll be launching it officially on next January.
That's what we aim for. Right now it's trained on a certain type of equipment. The challenge there, as usual, we have customers with all different types of equipment and different conditions. So there is still a fine-tuning component to it. We are currently figuring out how to minimize it. However, it's unavoidable, because if one customer has generators, the others has cranes or cooling containers or anything else.
Yeah.
In any single case, it would be slightly different response of what's damaged or not.
Yeah. And the other AI applications that you referred to, the apps or the applications will be available later next year. Do you know when?
Yeah, we aim for equipment availability to be available later next year, indeed. Yes, currently we work on availability angle and then move to the planning suggestions area. And also in between, indeed, the other areas we suggest at the price identification or customer information summaries, for example, at least. So there are a lot of this. It's a challenge to choose, because first of all, we have customers asking for all of these features already, right? It's not our own imagination; it's actual feedback.
Yeah.
The second, it's moving very, very fast.
And are you able to kind of piggyback or use AI agents that have already been developed by Microsoft? Obviously, Microsoft is a world leader in software. So are you able to use their AI agents in some way, or you're having to develop them yourselves for the equipment rental business?
We can, because first of all, Copilot is already something that we obviously use to develop our agents. What we look into right now is more also planning area that we can potentially involve. We obviously closely collaborating to Microsoft to make sure that we don't do double work in this area. However, what's also good news for our customers, that if they buy our software, right, this Microsoft agents already included. So if there's a supplier agent already, supplier communication agent, and it's not something we have to develop, right? Because spare parts are being bought, equipment is being bought. Equipment rental customer can already just use it as it is. They don't even need to develop anything more, right? And that's also a way to approach it. So on a lot of standard process which Microsoft already covers, customers are covered as well.
And customers are already using those AI agents or co-pilots, are they, in your experience?
Not yet.
No?
I guess that's all in progress, right? Because its first release comes out. It's a preview. We get it as our as a partner. Then on current implementations, we always include those agents and show those to the customers, and those have been configured. But that's an avoidable process, which definitely will be in place.
So I mean, it's clear that AI and AI agents are going to be the focus of a lot of software companies in offering new services or new capabilities to your customers. But I mean, is it all of your focus on AI technology, or are you looking at other things as well?
Yeah, obviously other things as well, because as we said, right, to have processes being made more efficient or time savings being made, it doesn't have to be AI. There are multiple other ways to approach it. I mean, one of the features we recently launched was just multi-order update, just availability to make some changes like price changes for several orders, like for the same customer at the same time, instead of going to every single line. It's already a time saving, even calculated, it can be 25% of fleet manager FTE on one of the customer cases in US we've done. So
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be AI necessarily. Some additions like, for example, closer look at bulk equipment, because we see a lot of interest to it from construction sector and close to construction sector. Movements of bulk equipment, good overviews, which are not serialized, which don't have serial number stamped, but there are big
like
quantities.
scaffolding poles or that kind of thing.
Yes, we can see it, and for example, that's what we're improving already. Even though you can see, of course, application of AI everywhere. If I see, we recently launched advanced credit management for rental, basically comparing credit limit and making an estimate of the rental period plus payment terms to see how big financial risk is. It doesn't have AI in yet, but it can as well, right? Because it's basically almost in every process it can be applied. So of course, you're asking right now and next month, but if you think years, it's going to be changing significantly. Even now, it's in steps.
Yeah. You said earlier, and I completely can understand that maybe the appetite for investment in software right now is not very high, because the market is a difficult market, especially in certain countries in Europe. Do you think that's going to be a significant downturn in investment for software over the next 18 months, or when do you see it improving again?
Yeah, the quick research I've done this morning from European and American Rental Association resources I like the most, right? They suggested indeed that the next year, is not starting in a promising way, but it can bounce in the middle of it, at least for a European outlook. We had it presented on the European Rental Convention, and indeed it looks like improvement is expected in the middle of it.
Yeah.
We need just to be very careful what we do from our side as a software vendor. We look at our implementation costs very carefully, because a lot of configuration is still required. It's a package with a lot of options. It cannot be just done in one go, but we see this need of our customers to make it as standard as possible, as quick as possible, as cheap as possible as well. For equipment rental companies, indeed, what I said already, I see a lot of caution in looking carefully in the options, maybe thinking longer, and it's okay as well, right? But it's also important that if they make these choices now for any software they choose, they would like to stick with it, because every single selection or implementation process is not something you want to repeat in the next 5 years.
Yes. Okay, I understand. I think you mentioned to me before we started the discussion that you have a YouTube video which talks about the application of AI technology in software. That's on YouTube, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, and that's a 2-minute video.
Yeah.
All right, good.
Yes.
So look, Anastasia, that's really interesting. Thank you. Is there anything else that you haven't mentioned that you think the audience would be interested in? Any other developments coming up that we haven't talked about?
Not developments, maybe some of advice here, because what I see, it's rental customers that we have, the strategy is forming and a lot of them are busy with it, right? And it's very important that you start on this journey when you form the strategy with right business priorities. Because I talked to one customer, they say, I only want to have the planning and damage or let's say equipment maintenance piece. Someone else wants to focus on a different area. They were very interested in and for example, selection of right products for customer demand. But because it's relatively new area, the risks are very high, right? That investments may not earn the return you aim for. Therefore, it's very important that the business priorities are set correctly, that the whole organization agrees. That's what we're going to improve first. And also there are some standard approaches like start small, try a very small agent, just reads like your, I don't know, training materials or materials on your documentation already available and see if it works. You learn how it works. You learn how much it takes also for you to make, because there are a lot of tools like Teams, Microsoft and Excel. So you can already apply. You don't even need to go in ERP first, right? So I would say start small, define the right strategy, start small and stay agile, because you start on it and maybe 2 months later something else comes into market or another trend hits. So in this case, you need to be very very flexible. Even in the rental company and the software area.
Why do you say high risk?
Not necessarily high risk, but because it's not a lot of companies have a lot of experience with it. There may be maybe less qualifications to do it right. Yes. So therefore, it's good that to have a small incremental tasks to be automated. Maybe some documentation, maybe some customer information, maybe something you can already do instead of launching a high project, doing it waterfall base for 9 months and then discover at the end that everything has changed. So that's definitely not a way to approach it for AI area.
So a phased approach, focusing on the priorities, the areas where you can make the most difference quickly.
Yeah, agile approach, yes. Small things you can release and already get feedback from your base.
Good advice, Anastasia. Thank you very much. That was interesting. It's a fascinating area, and I'm sure rental companies are going to want to investigate more closely and more deeply what the opportunities are with AI. So look, thank you again, and good luck with your product development. Okay.